Let me turn this off. Let me see. Wait. Do I want to turn it off? Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off. Hold up. Wait a minute. Where you went? Uh-oh. Where you at? There you go. Uh-oh. Don't do that. Don't do that. Damn. What I keep hitting? Wait. Wait. Make sure just in case. Do can you put a color? Do not see. Oh, okay, cool. Had to turn the cam off, y'all. I need to unpick something. I was working on something, but we gonna have us some fun. I haven't been to sleep yet. I was over there having fun over there by Q Butter, and man, I'm gonna try to tell you, baby. Um, the ignorance of some of these young people, they're ignorant, but I'm okay with ignorance. Ignorance is like when you don't know anything. A problem comes when they think they know. But I'm they think they know, and then what they do is, am I on the right account? Yes. So they think they know, and then they try to tell you that you're old and you don't know. So we're gonna go over some of the shit that we had a conversation about, right? They don't know about technology. Like, it's just like the rest of these motherfuckers on this internet who lie about something that they have that they don't have. And then they struggle, right? They struggle to even try to prove, you know, like a, a fool came up there and told me he will hack my computer. And I was like, okay, well, would you do that? He was like, he would hack my computer. He's like, I can hack yours and everybody's computer. I said, okay, well, do that. Ah, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm like, no, I'll give you permission. Like, absolutely give you permission. He said, all I need is your email address to hack you. I said, well, okay, bombcherrylive@gmail.com. Oh, no. I said, what do you mean? You say you could do it. Do it. I give you absolutely permission. I said, you want me to email you, giving you permission to try to hack me. And then when I said, I knew he was lying when I mentioned something that if he was into computers like he claimed, when I said that, he would have known that I knew what I was talking about. But when he didn't know what I was talking about, then I knew that he was a liar. You know, he's saying all he got to do is send a link, and I'm like, yeah, but I have to hit the link. Another fool was up there saying all they have to do is me send them a photo of a cash app. And I'm like, what? All I got to do is send you a photo of Cash App and that you can hack my Cash App by me sending you a photo? Yeah. I'm like, nope. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, let me see. Hello? Uh-huh. Okay. What you on your smartwatch or something? On that thing? Oh, okay, okay. Okay, you can take me for a ride tomorrow because I haven't been to sleep yet. He coming back home tonight or he going with his mom tonight? Okay, because I know you left the iPad here, I think, right? Are you? Yeah. You know he gonna want it. Don't you ever? Well, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. If you're going to get some food, if you're coming home, bring some food. Boy, I don't want to hear none of that. You in the car, just turn around and get me some food. I'm hungry. I don't want to hear. I'm not cooking nothing. It's lunchtime. Bring me some food. I'll send you cash at 5. Go get me some food, boy. Don't you come to this house without no food. Did you get the cereal? Well, then you could go to Walmart get the cereal, or you got to get me some food. But call me when you get to wherever you're going to get me some food. Don't come to this house without no food. Listen, you could go to the bathroom at the restaurant. But even if you come here to go to the bathroom, then you got to go back out and get me some food. This is not no negotiation vibe. I don't know why he playing with me. Why my son playing with me? He ain't playing with me, baby. Hey, coach. Hello, Michelle. How you doing? And hello, D Nice. Listen. I don't know who this Aaron Savage dude is. Oh, damn! I was supposed to put his name all together, but it don't matter. We're gonna have a conversation. I have not been to sleep yet. I've been sewing all night. Okay, um, and then I just never went to sleep. I saw Devastating over there by Q Butter, and I was over there just having a good time. Now I went on a panel because we had some young people talking about um they was talking about Bitcoin, or should I say cryptocurrency, right? Because see, when I noticed when they only focus on Bitcoin, and then she started talking about some meme coins, right? Because she mentioned the Hatu girl. Okay. Uh, Even before I got on the panel, I was thinking, what the hell? Like, are she serious? I understand that they don't know what they're talking about when they go to a particular coin, but in particular, if they go to the hot two girl, right? Um, these things is just not gonna make no money, and that's what I was saying in the chat over there. I was like, nah, not cryptocurrency. You can make money, right? But you definitely need to have your money and your shit together. You put that money in there and you grab that shit out of there. And you may even put it back in and grab because you never know when it's gonna crash. Now the people who can afford to lose money, then they let it sit there. Nothing wrong with that, right? They can afford to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so now this is the thing, right? If you can lose that money, then nothing is wrong with what you're doing. The problem comes when they make it seem like all that area has done, cryptocurrency or Bitcoin in particular, is people gained. Everybody got wealthy. Okay, that's what they were saying. So we're gonna prove, I'm gonna disprove that right now. Y'all gonna give me a second. Now, and I'm gonna put the link out in a minute, in a few. Let me get some things on my chest and do some proving real quick, cause y'all know once I put the link up, everything gonna go sideways. Okay, so we're gonna do a little real, cause they called me liars about everything. Like I mean everything. Even when I was talking about the Trump thing and the picture of little girls sitting on the lap and touching little girls and doing things, they were like they need to see proof, and I was like, you kidding, right? And they were, I was like, what? Kidding, right? And they were like, well, proof is everything. I was literally shocked that they hadn't seen it before. But it's weird because they was talking about it. We was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? They've heard people talk about it. So it just means that they didn't care. Because when I said, we mentioned the Mark dude, he got mentioned. I think he was in Virginia, he was running, and he ended up, getting knocked out the race, because he was black. And that's what I said. I said he had been white, they wouldn't have cared about none of that shit. I said because he's black, they got him out of that race just simply because his new Africa, his emails and things like that, right? And it was like, nah. They was like, he had stuff and emails, and I was like, but Trump had photos, and they was like, Nah. And I was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, right? I I could have it's crazy. But anyway, let me get to where I want to be, okay? Oh Lord, let's see what we're gonna do first. Oh, it was just so much, but we're gonna talk about because there's a couple of things. I had it already set up. I just have to find it. What's the first thing I said? Want to gonna talk about? Um, we talked about where your money's backed up. I talked about the proof of Trump's picture with little girls. That's a little girl right there. That's a teenager. Get to the. I can't remember if that's Ivanka or not. I don't think so. Let me see. Um, I think that's Ivanka, y'all. This is the picture I put up. Trump has his hand on that little girl's leg. Look what she's wearing. And Epstein is right there. That other lady, she's in the background right there with some other kids. Okay. Those are kids. Okay. So but they told me I was lying and that they needed to see proof. And I was like, but this is out there already. Right. This is his daughter, I know for sure. Right. That was some weird things said about that. But him and Epstein, they had a few things, right? These are girls. Those are not grown women. These are teenagers right here. Okay. Um, they was on a boat when the incident happened. That's what his name, that prince right there, right? And the little girl saying that they was making them give massages to him. Okay, but anyway, so I proved that. I proved that, and so they was calling me a liar with that. Okay, so we're gonna get that off the screen. Okay, so that's crazy, right? That's crazy that I would just say something that's not true. And then what else was mentioned? Let's see. Um, oh, crypto. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Let's go to the crypto real quick. Let's look up um crashed. Somebody said that our dollar has kind of lost value through the last 5 years, as if the dollar haven't used lost value through inflation's forever, right? Since the US been the US. And since they started printing dollars, like things have lost value, many things, all kinds of things, not just the money, right? You you could fruits and vegetables and shit like that. Anything that you could trade and barter and whatever has lost value where people it's not like it used to be, right? It's, or should I say, well, I may have said that wrong. Let me think about what I just said. Because I didn't mean the fruits and vegetables. I was overdoing it. Okay, I'm overdoing it. But I mean the money. Okay, the money. And what I meant by that is like it costs more for Apple today than it ever did. Okay, because I think I said it wrong originally. So what I'm saying is, you buy fruit. There was a time when a fruit was free. Then there was a time when you can, when it may have cost a couple of cents, and now you could buy goddamn apple for $1 each, and probably more than that, depending on what type of apple. And you might not even know it because you buy a 5 pound bag of apples for damn near $8. And if you look in the 5 pound bag of apples, it might be only 6 apples in that bitch. That's more than $1 each. Okay. Anyway, so then we talked about They was like, so they were saying, but Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it has made more than, like, the number was significantly high, 500% in the last 5 years is what they said. Some shit like that. And it may not have been 500, but it was a very large number. Okay. I do think they said 500%. Okay. But don't quote me on that. Um, and let's go through it, y'all. Let's go through it. They call it right here, why a decade-long roller coaster ride. Now, remember, young people, when they're young and really young and dumb as fuck, they think they know something that, that older people don't know. Because they think that cryptocurrency is new. They truly think cryptocurrency is new, although I can swear this shit been here over 20 years or close to 20 years. In fact, over 20 years, if I'm looking back, if I go through my Yahoo and find everything that I have there, we talking definitely 20 years. But they speak like it's new. They're like, oh, it's new. It's something you just don't understand. You don't know what it is. And I'm like, I got free crypto Bitcoin when it first came out. That wasn't even a Facebook that I knew about. Facebook existed, I think, but it was only for colleges. I'm not even sure if it existed back as far back as I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm talking about maybe definitely before 2012. Okay. Because I moved from Yahoo to like Facebook and things like that around 2012. Okay. Uh and hmm, it was definitely before that. But we'll look into that. See, because it says here, I haven't read it, but we're gonna see why a decade long roller coaster. Okay. They said when Bitcoin first gained mainstream traction, people put money down based mostly on feeling, not on a true understanding of things like blockchain technology, right? The reason why people and it wasn't when it first came out, it wasn't even about no feelings. There was many ways that people were using uh a Bitcoin. Like, for instance, I used to belong on this site called Second Life. And they even created their own money, right? There was a couple of games like Second Life where people was using Bitcoin because we was also on the damn, what's the name of it? The Silk Road. A lot of us was on the Silk Road. You was able to buy all kinds of shit. I ended up being a lot of criminality there too. But at one time, it was a lot of us able to buy things, and then eBay popped up. But I was able to buy things through the Silk Road before eBay popped up. Okay, once eBay popped up, then I stopped being buying things on the Silk Road. But anyway, um, let's see when it crashed. A look at Bitcoin's lowest low. Okay, now this is what it says. Um, that was oh, they look like they said they're gonna make some differences. June 2011, it crashed 99%, right? It soared at $2 to more than 32. Wait, am I? Oh yeah. It went from $2 to $32. That's a gain, right? But then that bitch fell in one single day. It went to 1 penny. You put in $2 and you got 1 penny. Now it doesn't seem bad if you only put in $2 and it went to a penny. But it is definitely bad if you went $2 to $32. So you possibly bought some more. You see that? See, we got to understand because I always knew that this shit wasn't for real money. You know what I mean? Like, we never knew who was backing it. We never knew who controlled it or anything. You was given real money for this coin, and you was only able to spend the coin in certain areas. Now that's the good thing today. Today, there's more people buying, or you are able to use the coin in more places now, right? Um, but back then, it was really just for like internet shit. Okay, they was giving it away for free for real. You buy a coin and they gave you one or two, right? Uh if I sent you a link and you hit the link and you bought a coin, then they would give me a coin. Like I had several coins, but like these crashes happen, right? Now the thing is, um, I think I bought a coin, it was cheap as hell back then. Like it literally was cents. It didn't even cost me $1 or anything like that. So it was the beginning. Anyway, so it went from $2 to $32. Now check it out. When you This is how it worked, right? If you went from $2 to $32, that makes you want to buy more. You're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? You on the ground floor, but even though this wasn't the ground floor, but you like, yeah, yeah. And I'm talking about there was lots of people. That's when the site started accepting money. Second Life, I think, had lenders. So I'm not sure if they were doing Bitcoin, but I think somebody was buying lenders for me. I need to check that site. So I should still have money on that site if it still exists. Okay, because I had money everywhere. People was paying me all kinds of ways, all over this goddamn internet. Okay, I need to check that out. But anyway, so if your money went to $32, then if you had more money, you're gonna put money in, right? Because it's such a gain. So people was rushing to buy this shit. And then that shit went to 99 cents. Can you imagine? It's okay when you lose the $2. The $2 got you $32. You was thinking, oh, cool. But when you went to $32 and you decided, oh, let me buy a few $100 at 32, because it's only gonna go up. And then now you just spent hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands, and then it crashed to 99 cents in one single day. The value of Bitcoin fell to 1 penny. Okay. Now let's go to August 2012, just a goddamn year later. Okay. In August 2012, the public learned that the classic Ponzi scheme updated for a digital age has been. Look, that's what was bulking up the crypto investors for more, right? Promising incredible returns of 7% weekly interest. You see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see how it was a Ponzi scheme? See, when you ask me something, and I was here from the beginning, and I remember these things, right? Because remember, I said I had some people. I purchased one, I think, and then they gave me, right, and then I linked other people, and they gave me, and yeah, and then people would pay me with them. And to me, it was just like some shit I was getting online in a video game, right? Second Life was like a video game. It's like you live your life as an avatar, shit. Like I didn't really play that game except to make money on it, right? Um, I had my own little club and shit. In a movie theater. Like people had to go there and they would pay to come and watch me over there. But I didn't use it that much, right? So that's why I should still have money there if it still exists. I'm not sure if it still exists. I need to look. But anyway, you see how I remember when the motherfucker stole like the money, the Bitcoin, all the money, everything anybody had invested disappeared. I remember that story. Everything just disappeared. So when I said today, hey, that shit not really backed by nothing for real. Okay. Now, listen, maybe some things just change and I'll go and look and see, right? But you got to understand, back then, we didn't know that it wasn't backed by nothing for real. But then when we found out that it was backed up by nothing for real, when this shit happened in 2012, when it all disappeared, they couldn't find, nobody was legally looking for nobody because it was never backed up by any banks or anything, right? Um, that's how I found out it wasn't backed by any banks. So can you imagine popping up a website selling the coin that's really not propped up by nothing? Ooh, like the Trump coin or like that coin, whatever that shit is, right? They're not backed by nothing except some fame, some belief or something. I don't know. People believe, ooh, if I get in early, that's all it is. You get it early, they think they're gonna get something. I'm thinking, well, what you gonna get? Like, what are they selling something? Are they offering something? And people gonna be buying something? Like, what is it backed by? Nothing, right? Anyway, so all that money came up missing in 2012. So I ain't got the lie about now. Maybe things have changed. So let's go look. Let's keep going. Because I don't know, but I could have sworn just in 2022, baby, something happened. I know in 2020 something happened. I think in 2022 or 2023, some shit popped off. But, bomb, see, because I don't think I have any Bitcoin anymore. I, I think I think everything is gone. I think everything is gone now. Anyway, so in April 2013, Bitcoin became a victim of its own success as investors piled on to the exciting new opportunity that was buzzing in the mainstream media, right? Trading was so intense that Mount, I don't know who that is, GOX, couldn't handle the volume. I think that's the website, y'all. Okay. And when it crashed, because attack, uh, when it went from $260 down to $50. That's a significant loss. Okay. December 2013, 50%, when China banned Bitcoin at the end of 2013, it lost 50% of its value overnight. Mm, ain't that something? And China don't still today don't really mess with cryptocurrency. You mean there's countries that won't mess with it? While we have young black people encouraging young black people to put their money there? Oh, okay. 2017 was a landmark year for Bitcoin. If I'm correct, I think that's when like some sports person had got involved, and that's when most black people and Americans had found out about it. If I'm correct, I'm not sure if this now or maybe during 2020. Can't remember if it's 2017 or 2020, but I remember a big talk on Bitcoin, and it got real big. People was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But anyway, let's see what it says. 17 was a landmark which broke all its own records and peaked nearly $20,000. Then in December, it all came crashing down when harvested gains from what was obvious a bubble and sent price down to 12,000. It went from 20 to 12,000. It's almost a 50%, but it's not quite 50. A drop. Okay. um, yeah, they said it wasn't good throughout of all of 2018. They had caps, okay, and then the countries were started to ban it. Look there, they started to ban Bitcoin. Okay, but here we go. The pandemic did not spare Bitcoin. And when the markets crashed in March of 2020, the Bitcoin market crashed even harder. Bitcoin lost half of its value in 2 days. Over a month, it fell from 10,000 in February to below 4,000 in March. But they over there telling everybody, and because I'm a woman, I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. And because I wasn't like, oh, yes, like I was straight to the facts. I was like, look, this shit ain't backed by nothing. It could go crashing. When it does go up, there's something supporting it, like a bubble. Like if a mass load of us go and buy them, then yeah, it goes up because we're buying, right? Supply, demand, that kind of thing. But then there gonna be a lot of people gonna take their shit out because they don't want to lose it. The ones who don't really, we don't have the money to lose like that. You realize, okay, or like that young lady was telling Taz, she said something about you got to know when to get in and but she's not telling him how to know that because you can't know it. Because if there was a way to know for sure, then people wouldn't be losing all their money. So she was just talking nonsense. But she's right. If you got a crystal ball and you could tell what's gonna happen ahead of time, oh, you can make nothing but bank, baby. She's right on that. The thing is, how would you know? Now we're gonna continue on though. In April, Bitcoin was the talk of the investment world. Not about why would it be the talk after this crash. Why would it be the talk? Yes, people would advertise, right? Like if it was my company or if I wanted people to, keep it alive, I might put out some ad and make it the talk of the town. That's the thing about the internet. Ads don't even cost that much money. I'm thinking about putting an ad out on this dumbass nigga I'm talking about in the street. I have that shit playing on Google. I have it playing on Instagram and everywhere. I might make a song about the dumbass nigga and then advertise it. You know what I'm saying? The play. Because I don't know who these little motherfuckers think they are. Anyway, check it out. So they talked about it. And a style, look, it went from $64,000 for a single coin. Now I remember we was on my panel talking about this, and you know who told me that? Cyber. Cyber was like, I was telling Cyber that I think I still have some coins, and he was like, if you got your digital um coin, then it's worth. And he told me it's like thought he told me like 100 and something thousand dollars for one coin. And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't know if I lost it or anything because I had several of them. And I was looking to go through my email to see if I could find the digital wallet, right? They gave me digital numbers back then. I don't know what they do now because I ain't buying this shit. You got me fucked up. Okay. Anyway, so they say it was $64,000. I remember Cyber telling me, but I didn't even believe him because the way he was saying it, I was like, Cyber was like, yeah, that one coin. And I was like, well, shit, you thought he was joking. And I was like, but shit. And he was like, nah, for real, you need to go and check. And I didn't go and check. But anyway, then in a flash, 1 trillion in value was wiped off the globe. Woo! I'm saying, I listen, the fucking coin, which if I did have, I ain't got no more, right? Do you see in 2021, Bitcoin had went to $64,000, one coin, which by the way, it cost a lot to have them at this time too. Okay. Well, I guess that's not too much if you have the money like that. If you have, if you have I ain't got no $10,000 buy no coin. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm going to buy me a sewing machine for that shit. I ain't buying no goddamn coin for no $10,000. Okay, but okay. Just like we know the fools over there who talking about this shit, they ain't really about this shit, right? Because I'm gonna see where this money is on this shit now. Okay, that shit went up. Anyway, isn't that something? So the coin was worth $64,000, and in a flash, 1 trillion in value was wiped out. 1 trillion. Do you understand this? First, Elon Musk went back on a promise to accept Bitcoin because he was going to accept Bitcoin for you to buy his cars. And then he said, oh, shit, no. Because you just imagine I go to buy a car with my coin, and soon as I pay for the car, the value on the coins that are given just sunk. Bang, boom. You're like, hell no. He went back on a promise to accept Bitcoin as payment for a Tesla. Learned about the environment. Look at this shit. Look, y'all. Then China announced yet another crypto crackdown. It's like, nah, our people can't be losing money like that. Um, and so I don't have no reason to lie, right? Just as recent as 2020, 2020, 2021, right? And it looked like they have some more. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah. Just as just as recent as that, money just disappeared. Whether somebody hacked it, whether it was a fake kind of bubble, or whether like it just disappeared. They don't even know. And that's because and nothing, you're not gonna get your money back. It's not promised by nobody, it's not backed up by nobody. And that's what I meant when I say it's not backed up by nobody. Okay? Your shit just be gone digitally. Now, I'm not telling people not to get crypto. I never said don't get it. But I am not lying about what's been going on with this coin for over a decade. Okay? Don't let nobody talk you into getting no shit. And unless you do your research, do your research, your own research. And the first thing you want to know is when the last time it crashed? When the last time something happened where most of the money just it dropped, the stock dropped or whatever, right? Do your own research. And please don't let them idiots or anybody on this internet convince you of putting your money somewhere. Unless it's a couple of dollars. I'll put a couple of dollars in some shit. I ain't gonna lie, I'll probably be mad that I lose it. You know? I'll be like, I could have did something else with that money. So anyway, now we're gonna get off of that because they idiots over there, right? I'm talking about so then we had another conversation. We had another conversation. What was it about? Okay, so that was a conversation that then came where Taz and a few of them was talking about immigration and things like that. And Taz was, he had given like I was visually envisioning when he said that when he was in uh Mexico, he was CP. I think him and his son said they saw a group of men kind of run across a highway with a ladder, and they put it up, and then they would jump the wall or whatever. Okay, and then another they started then talking about you know a young man said something about he understand how people from other countries, because the US have destroyed South America and other countries, right? With they whatever. And that's what I know that they did that with Mexico. Mexico owned um Texas and some of California, and I think all the way up Arizona, but don't quote me on that one. I'm not sure if it went into Arizona, but I know it went up that way, right? And they had a treaty where they could come back and forth. The treaty was like, even though it was in America, there was a treaty where they could just come back and forth. And then motherfucker decided the treaty was no good no more. They didn't want to abide by it. I don't know the exact how everything went, because I can't remember. I can't remember how everything went, but we can look it up. But I don't want to right now, okay? But we can later, okay? Anyway, so then someone said, oh, Taz said, well, it's because of the US military is the reason why such and such and such and such happened, right? He was saying that the power was in those of us who went in the military, so it was our fault, kind of like, and I get what he was saying, but then we would, and devastating first was saying, well, no, like, hey, you can't blame it on the soldiers who live in a country and they're being told to go to war. It's not like they tell us what's going on. They lied to us. So then I came in and said, yeah, by the way, like somebody had mentioned something about they went all the way to the 1400s. Somebody said they no, they didn't go to the 1400s. I think they went to the 50s. I'm sorry. Yeah, to the 1950s. And so I was thinking, well, damn, like, I was like, there was a time when they drafted people. Like they drafted, like you ain't had no choice. I said, don't get confused about that movie you saw with Ali. I said, because Ali went to jail, right? Ali went to jail. He was there for a long time, by the way. Like I want y'all to know, like Ali didn't remember you saw a movie, but the man was literally in jail. And then not only that, but he ended up with a dishonorable discharge kind of thing, right? That shit. The only reason he was able to even survive through all of that shit was because he had talent. He was a boxer. Remember, he had to go in a whole nother country to box because they wouldn't give him this, that, and this in the third in the U.S. anymore. Let's you like they had to work out something for him to go out of this country with a passport, right? So, but I said, well, before that though, people would get shot for not serving the military during wartime. But America would shoot you. You didn't have no choice to go to jail. They would kill you. And you know what happened? A whole shitload of people said, nah, we don't remember that. Yeah, you're not. Wait, give us a time. I said, what? Said that was a time, yeah, if you was drafted, your ass would get shot. Now, I guess sometime I got to remember that I'm talking to, I guess, real young, maybe really young, I guess. I don't know, because you can't even fathom that America would kill his own citizens. Are you serious? Like they have civil war on our soil. So they was like, when has America ever killed its own citizens? That's what that TK nigga said. That dumbass motherfucking nigga there. When I realized it was crazy, y'all. I was like, wait a minute, what? Said, yeah, uh, um, if you got drafted and you didn't go during war, they would put you in front of a firing squad. And he said, that's not true. Show me a time. Said, nigga. I said, are you serious? And yeah, you can't show me one time. So I go and tell a story, y'all, a real, actual, factual story, right? Like I went all the way back to somebody, because remember, they telling me to give a story. And so I'm thinking, oh, I gotta give a story where he'll know that what I'm saying is true. It gotta be somebody he knows, right? It definitely can't be somebody who maybe I know their grandfather actually was in front of a firing squad, right? Because he's not gonna believe me and I'm not gonna be able to prove that. So you know what I do? I go to actual, factual, in history story. And I started talking about George Washington. And I said, I said George Washington put actual citizens in front of a firing squad. Ah, why are you going so far back? I, I said, you said give you one story where that ever happened in the US. Oh, that wasn't the US. Uh, I'm like, what? Like that happened here? I'm telling you that here, even though we was the colonies, right? We was fighting for our own independence, right? Remember, they was already writing up the laws and things, right? That's what they were doing, right? George Washington and a few of them, right? Franklin and you know what I'm saying? They was all at work trying to get our independence and all that bullshit, right? And we was at war. And I said, while we was at war, the motherfucking they didn't even have no clothes and no food for the people, y'all. The people who was actually in a war, they wasn't getting paid and they didn't even have food to feed these people. Them people was boiling their own boots to make soup. They was boiling their boots to eat. And when they got tired and they was hungry and tired and shit, they was freezing and had to mend their own socks and the boots that they were boiling and shit like that. They decided we done, we gone, we leaving. Somebody came up and they were like, we going, we not dealing with this no more. And they started to leave. And Washington got wind of it. He got out there. He put them men on trial, found out the ones who started it and put him in front of a firing squad. Now check this shit out now. Mm. So I didn't say, yeah, he put him in front of a firing squad, but remember all these men, they was in the same platoon, or I'm not even sure if they called it a platoon back then, but they was in the same group, right? The same group of men who Washington was leading, right? That group of men. And so the men didn't want to shoot the other men, right? He's putting them in front of the fire squad, but the men who had the guns didn't want to shoot the men, right? Because it's almost like, hey, we got friends, we've been in this war together and things like that. And then our commander come and tell us that we got to shoot you. And then, people didn't want to do it. And you know what he did? He got another group of men to shoot the men who wouldn't shoot their men. He said, if y'all not gonna shoot at these men, here go guys, here go another group of men behind you who gonna shoot you. See, he had to do that because like he can't be a commander if people just gonna want to do what they want to do, right? You can't just decide not to shoot somebody. You can't just decide not to go to war. You can't just decide to walk away. You can't do that because then nobody has control, right? So I know I don't want to be shot, so I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker. I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, but you got to go because I don't want to be shot. And that is a true fucking story. But you know what happened to those niggas over there, right? The niggas, only the niggas. The TK dude, that nigga right there starts talking about, well, Well, that's back then when they had duels. Back then you could have a duel. I'm like, what that got to do with anything? Right? What that got to do with anything? Like this was war. This has to do with what we talking about. And yes, he had them shoot. So what does it matter if you back then you had a duel? Like, right? Uh this wasn't a duel. So I was like, well, um, so I mentioned something happened. He mentioned duels, and I said, well, I could have a duel with somebody and it'll be mutual combat, right? And I was like, yeah, mutual combat. So remember we was talking about back then. But then suddenly he started talking about today. Now, see, that's what I kept trying to tell him. Hey, like you're pushing the goalpost. Because when you asked me for y'all asked me for an example, I gave you an example. So I'm talking about the past, right? And so when he said duels, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's in the past, but that ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. We was talking about military service. Can you decline to go? I mentioned that not only did men, but they made boys join the military, y'all. 12, 12 years of age. If you was 12 and you was a boy in this country, and if you ain't have no disabilities and things like that, because they did have disabilities back then, believe it or not. I don't know why people think that's some new shit. But if they wasn't sickly and things like that, they was required to go to war. Lots of people who died during war, Civil War especially, were young boys. They wasn't even men yet, as what we would consider 18 today. They consider men like 12 or 13 or some shit like that back then, right? So yes, lots of little boys got killed in war in this country. And they ain't have no choice. They wasn't able to say, well, I don't want to go. And yes, you ain't always get in front of a firing squad back then during the Civil War. Like when they come and get your ass, if you ain't going, then they taking you. And for a fact, didn't I see a movie like that? What's the name of that movie? With Mel Gibson. Now that I think about it, I didn't think about it earlier, but I like that movie too. Can't think of the name of it. Something about I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. But Mel Gibson and his wife had passed away. He got the boys, his sons, and I think he had two daughters. No, one daughter. No, he had two daughters. One of them didn't talk, right? And I think he had two daughters. I don't know. But anyway, I know he had some sons and a daughter. And they wanted him to, lead and things like that because he had been in the war prior. And then a guy comes to the house, right? And take his son. He was a boy. I think they killed one of the sons because the one son went to help the brother. And so they killed the boy and took the other son. Okay. Now, I can't remember what they took him for, but my point is they killed. Like when they say, "Hey, come with us, you gonna fight on our side or whatever they took." If you didn't do it, they just shot you dead. They ain't had no time to put you in no prison. Like, why did they think there was prisons back then? They must have been looking at the Andy Griffith show with the jail. You know, the Andy Griffith show had a jail, and I guess they were saying, well, you could deny going in the military, and so they were gonna put you in jail. And that's what I'm saying about these fucking ignorant ass black men. I'm only talking about the ignorant ones. Like they don't even think with their brains. When they say, "Oh, they wouldn't have killed no citizens," nigga, you forgot about slavery. You, 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 you forgot. You forgot about the Wild Wild West. You think that was fake? The idea that he would say "duel," right? That's come from overseas. The British and things like that. They would smack each other, bam, and have a duel, right? But he must have was talking about the Wild Wild West. Um. Anyway, he starts talking about. So I mentioned mutual combat, right? Let's go look and see what mutual combat means, y'all. God damn. Mm, yeah. Somebody said there's no mutual combat in this country. We're gonna see that right now. Because I definitely know that they got mutual combat in definitely in Texas. I'm not sure where else, but we're gonna see. Look at that. Washington is legal. And in Texas, mutual combat is legal in those two states. Y'all see that? But they was like, no, no, no. What? Look, it still exists in Washington and Texas. It says it right there. In case y'all didn't know what the map looked like, if them if them particular black men that I'm talking about, if they was in the chat or looking in the clouds, listen, I'm not sure if you know what the map is. I'm not sure if you know what the states is when they don't have their names. But this is Texas, and yes, in the upper fork, that's Washington, baby, not Washington D.C. It's Washington State. Okay, we good? Okay, cool. Because I know when I'm talking to you, I know I have to talk to you like you are infant. Okay. Um. Anyway, so that proves that it does exist. And look what it says. Mutual combat is a legal concept that allows two consenting individuals to engage in a physical fight without facing criminal charges, provided certain conditions are met. While this may sound like a relic from the past, which it does, it still exists in certain states. These laws recognize the idea that two adults should be able to settle disputes physically as long as neither party see legal repercussions. The legality of mutual combat across the United States, with most states treating it as assault regardless, right? But the framework for those who do have it, right? Let me see. If let's see if they got some laws. But even if they did, when he mentioned when he mentioned dual, right? Dual is something from in the past, right? And back then you was able to shoot each other and you was able to fight in a duel. You was able to fight by hand, you was able to use a sword, you was able to use a gun, whatever the two consenting adults use. But he kept saying, no, no, it's by gun. And I was like, it's not just by gun. Like we could consent, which if we say we're gonna meet up in on a beach, and I use this example because I was thinking of Kill Bill, but I was saying if we decide to meet on a beach and we decide to shoot each other, that's called mutual combat in those states, especially back then. Now let's see what they now here now, right now, especially now they say the fight cannot involve serious bodily harm, such as broken things, and nobody can die, right? If weapons are used, it immediately becomes a crime, and that's today, right? It said Texas police officers can step in at any time if they believe the fight is escalating. Now, I do know that in certain states where it may be illegal, we've seen where the cops can take a person, or they could say, well, you seem like you were just having mutual combat. It depends, right? It depends. It depends on the cops. It depends on the situation. It depends on the people. How I know, because I've seen it on YouTube, on these goddamn, when Karens are doing this, that, and the third, and they may end up in a fight, and they'll be like, well, they don't really want to take nobody to jail unless, they make some agreements. But anyway, they say Connecticut um have a consent-based defense for assault. Kansas, some cases have allowed fights between consenting adults, but police intervention is common. Oregon has a law that considers risky endangerment, making most fights illegal, even with consent. Okay. California, New York, and Florida is disorderly conduct, and arrests are common. Wait, what's this one? New York says that they don't allow mutual combat as a legal defense. Okay. So different states got different laws and things like that. Under Texas law, mutual combat is both party verbally agree to fight. The fight does not involve deadly weapons. Neither person is forced or threatened into fighting. Um, and then it looks like even in states where mutual combat is legal, fighting in public places can lead to some things. So I was being a little facetious when I was like, yeah, we, and he wasn't listening to me, because what I said was he and I can agree to go to a beach. I'm not sure if y'all saw Kill Bill, but they had agreed that they was gonna wait till the moon set or some shit like that. And then they were gonna meet at a local private beach that he had in his area. And they was gonna duel it out, right? Until one of them win. And so I said, well, you and him and I can go and agree to meet on a beach. And we could fight with guns, swords, and I think I said something else. I can't remember. Guns, swords, and I mentioned something else crazy. And I was like, and if we agree to go there, right, with guns or swords, and I said, if you shoot at me and I shoot at you, right, but I kill you or you kill me, I said, I'm going to call it mutual combat, right? And so they were like, nah, that wouldn't be mutual combat. And I was like, yeah. Uh, well, he was like, you going to jail. And I said, well, I'm not going to go to jail because I'm going to tell him you shot at me and I'm going to shoot you back. Oh, there's no mutual combat. Okay. I'm like, like he wasn't listening to me because I kept saying, yes, I'm going to tell them that you shot at me and I'm going to shoot you back. Self defense. But I was saying that he and I can make a little secret agreement and go out there and do to the end with knives and all swords and all kinds of shit, right? Like in Kill Bill, part one. That's I think it was part one, right? When they went out in the snow and she cut that woman's hands off and shit like that. In part two is where she and Bill agreed to go in the sunset. Okay. Oh Lord, I like that movie. Okay, but I was like, I was being facetious, dude. You wasn't listening to me. But that's like the nigga got real hyper. He was like, oh my God, she don't know what she's talking about. So when I mentioned the crypto, apparently I didn't know what I was talking about. even though I showed that, right? Um, when I gave history, like actual fucking history, then I didn't know what I was talking about. Huh? Yeah. And then when I was talking about this, right? I guess I know what I was talking about. I was like tired of arguing with men who don't like women. When they don't like women, everything I say is wrong. Because I mentioned, let me show you what else I mentioned before. Because it didn't matter. See, I realized that it doesn't matter what we talking about. I'm a woman and I'm always gonna be wrong. So that was a woman up there and she was talking about the crypto shit, right? Which I never went up there to tell her she was wrong. I'm saying, hey, this stuff isn't backed by anything. Then she goes to tell me I'm wrong, and then starts to talking about the same thing that little nigga did, right? The only reason I don't have a name in this shit because I said I don't, because the bitch is cuckoo, right? But she cuckoo, she wouldn't stop. She just kept it going, right? But they're stupid and it's okay. And then they don't have the money to even play the way they claim they're gonna play. But she told somebody, she was talking to Taz, and she said, he go to Odyssey. She said, go to Odyssey. He said, go to Odyssey. And he was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? She said, sign up. She said, go to Odyssey and sign up. And then she started talking about, that is decentralized. It's like YouTube. And so they was talking about crypto. So I think Taz was like, oh, this is where I'm going to go and learn about crypto or with some crypto or something. And she was like, no, remember what I was talking about? Being at the right place, right time. This is new site. This is new site. So it's great for you to join. And I was like, look at this bitch. Okay. So now, before I went to Odyssey, because I only heard about Odyssey through her. Okay. So I'm going to be clear about that. I learned about Odyssey through her. She mentioned Odyssey. And before I go to Odyssey, I do a little research, right? Wikipedia, baby, could be your friend. But it's not your only friend. They got many friends out there. Okay. Don't just get your information from one place. But I just happened to see, oh, let me check it out. Right? Odyssey is an American decentralized video hosting platform. Okay. Um now now I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone right now. Okay. Because see, as y'all can see up here, they say that this article needs additional citations for verifications. That's October 24. And then they say this article contains weasel words, vague phrasing that often accompanies bias or unverifiable information. And that says April 2025. Now see that? That's just this year. So that's why it's important for you to read everything, at least the major things that's at the top. Okay, but it also says that they said that this decentralized da da da, and they mentioned on a library. I guess I'm not sure what the LBRY is, blockchain. I guess we'll see in a minute. It positions itself as an alternative to mainstream services like YouTube, but it focuses on the freedom of speech and decentralization. Okay, now the platform ensures users to upload, share, and monetize videos through cryptocurrency. Everybody don't have cryptocurrency, but anyway, that's what they do, right? Now, I promise you, if the site you're dealing with only want to deal with cryptocurrency, then you need to take heed to that. Okay? Take heed to it. I don't want to get paid something that as soon as you pay me, the value in the money may drop that same day, that same hour, that same goddamn minute. You sent me something that may be worth like $1,000, but when I go to get it, retrieve it, it's only worth $3. I don't want no shit like that. I want that. Oh, that's ridiculous. Now, in the same token, your $1,000 that you got could be 2,000 in the same 10 minutes if it goes up. So I just want to give that fair statement, right? But anyway, it also says who founded it in 2020. Y'all see that? And then it says in June 2024, it was acquired by Forward Research. The acquisition took place after Odyssey's former parent company lost a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Baby, um, I'm sorry. Do y'all know who the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is? They lost a lawsuit through the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. What is it? These are the people who make sure that they not manipulating your money, your funding, not your funding, your stocks and things like that. They got sued for manipulating, and they only deal with uh cryptocurrency. Now see that? Market manipulation. She was over there telling everybody to go to a site. But that look, so I saw this right away. So it made me alert. And then there was something else after that. Now see, I was like, well, they probably don't know who the US Security Exchange is. And she can't tell me she does because like she should have saw this. She should have saw this. And the guy too, right? The guy who's over there, they should have saw this. So when I looked, I said, okay. Um, I saw that it was peer to peer. They have some issues with it being a peer to peer as well, right? They is a site that's the guy came up there saying nothing wrong with the site, and there was a guy saying, look, when they want to decentralize like that, that's where they're gonna have all that freedom of speech. But with freedom of speech in this country and other countries, they think that they can say anything, and a lot of lies are told. So they got in trouble. Like other countries won't, they're blocking this because they uh they have deemed harmful and disinformation. Okay. Um, looked like they was spreading some lies, or anybody was on there spread lies about vaccines and things like that. It has included far right groups, conspiracy theorists, and individuals banned from other platforms. Right? Um, let's see. They talk about the nodes right here and the network right here. Right? They talk about the metadata, how they store it on the blockchain. So the way it's whole is peer to peer. See what it says? This blockchain network supports a peer to peer infrastructure. Now, let's go and see what peer to peer is because I tried to explain it to them. Now, nothing is something wrong with peer to peer? Absolutely. Mm, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. When you're peer to peer, that means your computer is used in the network. And I don't think they understood what I was saying completely over there. Um, so peer to peer, how they are decentralizing the videos, because they're gonna send them possibly on your computer, right? If they knew what a network is, then a peer-to-peer network means all these computers are connected. The reason it's decentralized is because it's not sitting on a paid for network or server. It's using each and individual computers to sit and make this site. And so you go to a site and play a video that's sitting on somebody else's computer. And then people was like, oh, I'm gonna go over there and check it out. And I'm like, well, okay, well, go ahead. Okay. That fucking link that they're talking about. Let's go look and see. Because they were like, long as you don't click on no links, long as you, so they don't know what a fucking link is. Because hypertext is a thing, right? But hypertext is a link to an actual place. And that place is usually a server or a computer, right? Peer to peer, that means it's an actual IP address of an individual computer or individual network, which is a set of computers, right? So when we come to YouTube, it's not like that because YouTube has a server and all the shit that we store on YouTube sits on their server and servers, right? Because there's many of them, right? That's how they keep the information. The information is pieced across the internet, right? And they do that for a reason. Because if this server go down, the information is still there. It'll auto correct each other. They put pieces of the information on this server, that server, this server, that server. Now, today we all call servers cloud, the cloud. But the cloud is an actual thing, and it's a server. It serves, it gives you. You people put things there to store there, and a server is somewhere where you go to grab the information. That's where you stream. They got email mail servers. They got different type of servers. Okay. See this setup right here? This is a peer-to-peer. That means each individual fucking computer it's storing information instead of it being sitting on a server somewhere or in the cloud. It's going to sit on each individual computer that you, if you allow it to. Now, it may not just be on just your computer, right? They may not even put anything on yours. You may not give it access. I don't know, right? I don't know how they got it, but you open Node, and once you get there, you sign onto their computer, which gives them access to your computer. Like like right now, if I give somebody a link directly to my computer, which I can do, while they're in my computer, if I know what I'm doing, I'm also while they're hooked to me, I'm hooked to them, right? You're not hooked just one way. Now, if you know what you're doing, you have settings set up that allows them not to get into your computer. But if you don't have those settings set up, what you, by the way, when you give access to your computer, you give them access. They didn't help you. You literally told them to walk in. Here you go, come through the door. And there is nothing that you can do to stop them because you gave them access. You let them walk into the door. That's what peer to peer is. You letting them, you going into their computers. And then if you have your settings set up, well, you can have it where they have to knock at doors and authenticate. And I tried to explain that over there, and they were like, "Oh, you saying something big? You acting like you saying something big with authenticate." But listen, honey, if you don't have it authentication set up, then guess what? You They can walk right into all your shit. I mean everything. So I mean, but this was the guy who told me that he knows about computers, and I'm like, well, who told me he could hack me? And I'm like, well, if you don't understand authentication, and then somebody said, well, they can hack your Cash App. Somebody said they could hack your Cash App by me just sending a picture of my Cash App, y'all. I was like, well, how they gonna hack? And then they was like, Cash App is peer to peer. And I said, no. Okay. Cash App is not peer to peer. Cash App is a financial institution. I can assure you there's no peer to peer. But I understand if you don't know anything about the internet and how it works, you would assume that it's peer to peer. I don't know why you would assume that because peer to peer means an individual computer to another. But if I'm signing into a server, then that's not a peer to peer. That's an actual network. And they have several types of networks. And you have to authenticate. I can't sign into Cash App unless I sign into Cash App. So that's not peer to peer. I have to authenticate, and Cash App doesn't get to get into my computer neither. It's one way. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to understand how he said that Cash App was peer to peer. Maybe I need see. Maybe you need some pictures. Let's go see peer to peer versus I don't know. Let's go do a server. Uh, they got point to point server based networks, right? That's what we talking about. That's when you're dealing with financial institutions. They are server based. Server. Even when you go into your email, like for instance, let's talk about Gmail, for instance, right? Gmail is a part of Google, right? Google has different products, right? They have their cloud area, which I think is called Google. What that thing called? Uh, I think I have it down here. I have a couple of clouds. I forgot what it's called, but they have their cloud area, they have their email area, right? Which is an email server. And to be honest, like I do have the email server, but it's not the best for if you're dealing with business and shit like that. But people don't use their servers that come with their computers anymore. You absolutely like if Gmail crashes or something go on, like one time I couldn't get into my email. It's a good thing like I wasn't running a business or anything, right? Because I wasn't able to get an email for like a few hours because Gmail had crashed. This was a few years back. But there used to be a time that most of us got our email directly on our computers through your email client. Your email could come directly to you on your computer or on your phone without going through a service like Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, and things like that. Those are servers, right? Those are servers. But anyway, I'm going too much into shit. Let's see. Mm. So there's peer to peer. And that's when you go from one computer to another. Like if I gave y'all a link and you ever had somebody to help you fix your computer and you gave them access to your actual computer, right? And then they came in and they took control to help you fix things. Well, that's peer to peer. Okay, that's peer to peer. Their computers connected to your computer. There's also some little there's programs that allow that, and there's also other little places that allow that. That's peer to peer. Multicasting, right? I'm not trying to get into too much information, but server base is when you have. Do they have any pictures? They don't have any pictures on here. Why not? Where I'm at? Let's go another place because the pictures are show you. So they got a client server and a peer to peer server, right? I just want some pictures because it makes you see if you see a photo. I might have to go into the photo area. Let's do that. Images. Okay, here we go. Here we go right here. This is important for y'all to know, right? Because you may not know the ins and outs of anything, but this is really important because you need to know what a peer to peer is, right? You need to know Um, so this is a peer-to-peer right here. You see that? The traffic goes from computer to computer. My computer to that computer, my computer to this one over here, that over here. You see the traffic? And that is how that website is set up. You understand? Your computer becomes a part of their network. You see that? Now, that's why it's dangerous. It's dangerous because you allow them to give your computer things, information, even videos. Like you allow them to do that. And that's why LimeWire was dangerous, right? LimeWire, a lot of people didn't know this, but because it was peer to peer, you may have been sharing information from your actual device without you knowing it because you was young and you didn't understand it, right? But you ever went to LimeWire and you saw that they had the song or whatever you was looking for, but it was in more than one place, right? Maybe the one you was trying to get, maybe it was taking a long time because maybe some other people was trying to get it. But then you saw it somewhere else and you grabbed it from there. Now, believe it or not, they had different servers. Even when you go look at streaming movies online, they got different channels and things like that. Well, they usually put their movies on different sites, right? So it's going to be on different servers. Okay. But they may have they actually may have they wouldn't have a peer-to-peer. It would be a server sitting in their home, right? Because it's just a server is just another computer. Or it could just be a hard drive sitting in a rack. Okay. Sitting in the rack. Servers, you don't sit at servers and work on them or anything. Depending on what type of server it is, it does whatever type of server it is. If it serves data, then that's all it does. If it's an email server, then that's all it holds is email. Okay. But but a peer-to-peer, it could be all kind of shit in here. And you could be sharing your actual hard drive within this network. Okay. So one time, my sons had LimeWire, and we had FrostWire. They had FrostWire, LimeWire. There was another one, right? Where they used to get music. And one time, I was sitting at my computer working, and I saw someone uh downloading from my computer, right? Because my sons would always they would open the LimeWire, and then it would always just be open in the background. And they used to download songs. And then I saw somebody getting the goddamn song from my hard drive. And then uh and then I had to tell them, like, come on now. Okay. Sometimes you got viruses that way. You could have got the virus through the song itself, or you could have been sitting there and somebody just gave it to you while you were sitting on the server. Anyway, um, here's a server based. See where all the computers, none of the computers talk to each other. By the way, this is called talking to themselves, right? They cross data, receive and send all at the same time. It slows everything up, but that's what this is. It's talking, right? You're gonna have some different things, switches of different things in there, depending on where the computers are and things like that. Routers, switches, if it's in the same building, right? That's it could mean different things, but all of these, everything that connects to that website is in this network. That's what peer-to-peer means. You connect to somebody else's shit and they connect to yours. Peer-to-peer. Think about that. That means you and that person, y'all are the peers, your individual computers are the peers, and you're doing peer-to-peer. You are sharing information, and you can see that in this diagram. Everybody's sharing, whether you know it or not. But that's on you. That's if you know information or not. Just because you don't have the information don't mean you ain't sharing your shit. And that's why I told people to stay out of the goddamn um out of Discord without knowing where you are, because right, I don't play around with Discord. I realized when I was going to get on, this was years ago. I went in to get on Discord, and then it asked me, did I want to make a Discord? And I was like, wait, why they ask? I was trying to sign in. They asked me, did I want to make up one? And then they started telling me how I can set up a server on my actual individual computer, which is a client, by the way. Right. And I was like, wait a minute. So it is this on a server, or do individual people set up the actual thing on their computer? And I don't think a lot of people know. And those who know, they'll know how to set it up correctly, right? But those who don't, you might literally have that shit sitting on your computer. And when people sign into your little group, they sign into your computer. And I think people should know that. That's all. Now, I don't think everybody's that way. I think I had options. If I'm correct, I had an option to do that or not. But you know, when I realized, like, I don't think a lot of people know, because when the AI thing came, they had this one AI that it was charging and shit like that. Now imagine going to a free place, right? You go to a free place, but then they got individual areas and people decide to charge you if they want to charge you. And that's because it's theirs. It belongs to them, and it's sitting on their shit. Now, some people might have servers though, but it's still you sitting on their shit. You don't know who they are. And you put a lot of trust in people like that. Nothing wrong with it. They say it's fear mongering. Giving people real information is called fear mongering over there with them black ass niggas over there. Them niggas say, oh, you fear mongering. I'm like, I'm just giving facts so you can do better, so you can learn how to protect yourself. That's not fear mongering. That's giving facts. Now, let's go to the server client right here. You see how none of these computers are talking to each other? They all are talking to that server. None of the computer are cross wiring, cross talking. There's no router from this uh computer to that one. Everybody can speak to each other, but not individually. They're gonna talk to each other through that server. So if I want to send, like if I was this computer here at the top, and I wanted to send this computer down here at the bottom information, it will go through this server in the center, and then this person down here will receive it. I'm just giving an example, right? This is how the internet works. This is called a network. And on the internet, there's many networks. They got local area networks, wide, where area networks. This could be a local network, right? The internet. So see how when I mentioned clients, a client is an individual computer. The computer is a client. Okay. Everybody could talk to each other. And this is the internet. You see that? This is the server. And then they have this area, which is where the networks, it could be many networks, like I said. And each client, even if they want to talk to each other, they got to go through the server. It get routed to the IP address of each client. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, like, what the hell is Mom talking about? There's no way what she said could be true when I say just be careful. I am not telling you not to go where you want to go. I am saying, though, at least find out where you are going. Because in a network like this, You may not, you see that it's peer to peer. You're probably thinking, oh, it don't mean too much, nothing. The guy on the panel said, well, I wouldn't just go anywhere. And I'm like, but that's exactly what you're doing. When you go to a peer to peer, you're going anywhere. Well, no, I wouldn't just click any link. Well, that's exactly what you did. Because let's go and see what the address of this thing is. Odyssey. See, so there's a thing about these names, right? It's called something called DNS, right? Let's go see what DNS means for those who think I'm bullshit and I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Let's go see what DNS means. Domain name server, right? Domain name server. So what happens with DNS? Well, DNS resolves your name, your IP to a name. So let's say I want to go to yahoo.com or AOL.com or even youtube.com. Now, youtube.com is not, it's just a name, right? To shorten it. But youtube.com is something like 192 dot 01, some shit like that. That's what everybody's address is. A different address. What I mean is that's how address look like, right? It's called the IP address. We all have them. I have one. YouTube have one. You have one. Google have one. Everywhere we go, there is an IP address. Everything on the internet has an IP address, its own address. But, and there's no but about it, but in order to make it easy, because see, back in the day when I first got on the internet, you had to know an IP address. I literally had to put in that long thing or find the link and click on it and it'll take you. It used to be these blue links everywhere. The blue link would take you. There was no yahoo.com and shit like that. AOL didn't even have an address like that. AOL was a community type of thing. You got there through their disk and through the phone line. So it automatically dialed in, right? But what I'm saying is every device has an IP address. Every single one. Your phones, your computers, anything that gets on the internet, your router, everything, your iPad, everything that gets on the internet has an IP address. And it's usually a 192 number, right? And it depends. It depends on the classification and things like that. And the class depends on, businesses, large corporations and things like that. Their IP address may be different classes because it's better, right? They purchased so many IP addresses because they needed them for their company. And then they ran out of IP addresses, right? And then so they started doing something called subnetting where you could take one IP address and break that one IP address down into other little IP addresses. It's called subnetting, baby. Okay. But anyway, besides all of that, though, DNS, it resolves your name. So I could put in bombcherry.com, which I don't have anymore, but bombcherry.com, absolutely, I put it in, it goes it resolves it and it puts in, even though all we see at the top is bombcherry.com, they know where to go. It's almost like the phone book. Like you put in something at the top, it goes through the routers and the network and everything. It realizes where it go and it dials in and take you where you're supposed to go. Now I could show you. Let me see if I can find out what YouTube IP address is. Mm, got port numbers. See. My pictures look good. Here go the ranges of I. They got the IP addresses of. I don't know if they're gonna tell me. Let's see. Wait, what? Where am I? Oh hell no, that's old. I can't be just hitting on the first thing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Clicking on the first thing up there. Why did I say Yahoo? So let's see if they're gonna give it to me. I know how to look it up. Usually on my which call me tell me at the bottom. But here we go. YouTube LLC. They got a range of zero, one. Here we go. I don't want to read all that shit. 104.237.16, and that's their range. And a block size is 8,192. So they're able to have that 8,192 IP addresses, except for the fact that they could subnet it. They can break it down even further than that. Where now you take that large 8,000 number and times it times, and it depends on the range and things like that. But um, what is 160, 192? It's a lot. It's a whole shitload. But then they still ran out of IP addresses, and that's why they now have. And when I say ran out, like in the world, we ran out of IP addresses. So then they came up with V6 IP addresses, which don't look like this at all. Now, see this up here, this right here. That's a see that 104.237.160.0 and /19. That is a V6 IP address. Um, what's this here? Let me see. So it's the yeah. See that they block size is the same, 8,000, but except for this. So I'm not sure if this is a new, but I know that's a V six IP there. Let me see. Here go they subnet right there, right? You see that? That's how you know it's subnetted when the first numbers are two numbers, right? Or one, yeah. But normally IP address is three numbers in the beginning, right? So here go the IP address. Let's click on that and see where it takes. This is the IP address info. That's a something. Let's see. And it's taking me to Georgia. It looks like, right? Wait, it's even telling me where it's. That's the internet four right here, right? That's the network thing right there, and the coordinates. Now I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I'm not good with the coordinates. Okay, with the coordinates, my husband good at that kind of stuff. But see, when you see things, there's things where you could tell if it's a printer, if it's a router. There's different ways of telling that. Y'all gonna have to go to school to get all that information. Or if y'all want me to, give more information on it, they have other people who are more knowledgeable, up to date. Um, I think Gabe is really knowledgeable. Well, I don't think I know he is. He can go even more deeper into more things. I'm not sure if he's here right now or anything. Um, who else? There's a few people who really into technology for real. Okay, not the fake, but for real shit. Okay. Um, the information I have is older, but it's better, right? Because like I can really by myself without any computers or AI. Number one, I can go in and program without any assistance. using Notepad, right? Not only that, but I also can go and do subnetting. And not only that, if everything kind of broke down and shit, I'm the one that's gonna go in because I also know binary, right? And like yeah, those things kind of go out of style up until some shit happens really bad where you can't just put a snap in it, where you can't just go and and tell a computer to do this and then have the computer do it. When you need somebody to really go in and sniff out the network and figure out what's going on where, right? Now, does that happen a whole lot? Mm, not as much as, you know, yeah, because they got computers. They got different things that'll do that. But yeah, sometimes a company will call, okay? A company will call and they need some help trying to figure out what's going on with the network. Now, what I need to get into is security, okay? That's why if I decide, I was thinking about going back to school, but nah, I think I'm done, okay? For the money though, I might go back to school. Anyway, this is the network name. I don't even know if this is up to date, so I'm gonna just tell y'all that now. I'm just looking at what is here. I don't know if this is up to date information. Okay, I'm reading based on what they have here. This look pretty old. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. The way they got it set up. Let me see if they have a. It's not that it would change, right? When you're dealing with these major companies, it's not like they're gonna go in and start changing IP address and things like that, right? The IP addresses will be the same, and the networks, and they just, when they get new devices in or dummies in or whatever devices they got going on, routers, and things like that, they give an address to it. But anyway, but what I would say is to the guy who said that he would hack me, I gave him my IP address. I welcome you. I absolutely welcome you to hack my email. Like he's and the weird thing about that is he's claiming he can hack. Like he wouldn't look hacking my email is not something he could do. But I definitely would like to see him try, and then he wouldn't really be hacking my email alone, right? He would be absolutely hacking Gmail. It's like he put a bold statement that he gonna hack my email. I gave him a Gmail email. He would have to hack them because it's their server he would have to hack. Now, how could he hack my email? It would be through my own doing, right? Me clicking on something and giving access. That's why you gotta watch with links. Now, I and I think I showed this another time. I'm not sure if y'all can see at the bottom of my screen, right? Let me show y'all something. Well, I don't know if I can't make it bigger. But I think somebody told me, and I think it was Cyber who actually told me this. Because I don't know, and I believe him because like he showed me that he couldn't do it on his or somebody else showed. But when I click on, like I don't have to click on this address. See that link up there? I don't have to click on that link to see where it's gonna take me. Because at the bottom down there, it tells me where it's taking me. Oh man, it's time to eat. It's time to what? To eat. Oh, you got me some food? Yeah. Nikki got me some. My grandson. And I didn't know it was 4 o'clock. Oh my God, I haven't gone to sleep at all, y'all. But anyway, listen, my grandson about to take over me. Okay, he about to take over me. He's not gonna let me continue to talk. But soon as I think he goes by his mom today. He's looking all cute in his uniform and everything. But listen, and I'm gonna see if I could get Gabe up here one day because I love to talk about the tech talk, and I know a few people like to talk. And we need to start doing tech Tuesdays and shit again, and get some of the intelligent, up to date people. You know what I mean? Because they got a few terms and things that has changed, like servers versus the cloud, right? And I'm quite sure many other terms have changed. The things haven't changed, the terms changed. Some things have They might have a V8 IP address thing going right now. I don't know, right? I'm my my last update to my MCSC and was 20 thinking I had to do an update. I think the last update I did was 2015 or 14. And doesn't matter, that's a long time. Okay, that's a long time ago. So I'm quite sure, and not really nothing in the IT world, besides terms, have changed in 20 years. People think there's a new cord, a new adapter, a new this, a new that. No, there's things that's been existing for a very long time. Okay. Some things are way better. Like Firewire was fast and good, but it didn't take on like that. There was, there's different um OSs that's way better than Microsoft and Mac, right? But it's not as simple. You don't want me to talk to the people no more? You want to talk to me? Oh, you want to play with me? You want to play with me? Want to play with your mama? Okay. Y'all, he want to play with me. Let me come look at the chat, see what's going on. But I am going to try to hit up Gabe. Now, let me tell y'all something, because I don't want to give Gabe out information, right? He's a smart man. He definitely know what he's talking about, because I actually ended up on over there where he do his thing. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, he got to give out his own link, because I don't, I'm not. But I'm gonna tell you, I sat over there listening to that man right there. And if I was in the industry to get a job, he is absolutely somebody I will follow. Okay. And I don't tell him I'm being nice to him, because me and him go back and forth. But I got nothing but love, mostly respect for that man. Okay. Because he's not one of them phony fake motherfuckers on here. Like, when he say he know how to do something, and he do. Okay. And let me tell you, he got a nice following over there who listen to him. He give out job advice, how to interview. I've seen him have lots of different things. Okay. But I'm not gonna share anything about that. When y'all run across him asking for his information, um, yeah, because if something go, y'all know how YouTube is. Okay, he trusted me. Now I'm not even sure like how. I know he gave it. That's the only way I found it. But I do peep in on him every once in a while. Okay. And yeah. Anybody looking into IT, follow him. Don't follow me, okay? Because like I said, my last update was 2000, I think 16. Wait, when did I come on YouTube? And yeah, I think the last exam I took was 2016. So what y'all know, that's what that is. It's a long time, okay? That's a long time. So, but I just wanted to explain a few things. He probably could go more into in depth about things. So this is just an overview. See, they got the IPv6. That's what I was talking about. I know I call it the V6. Okay. Don't get mad. The original, as far as I know, is the V4. I think they had one before that, but and it has something to do with yeah, how it's transmitted, or how it's I thought it was security too. I might be wrong. I know they ran out of numbers. Okay. I know they ran out of numbers. So it's something else that had to do. I'm trying to think, y'all. Now listen, so I have MCSE, which from my understanding is obsolete, because not the information not obsolete, but they no longer give you an MCSE. Like, you pick a lane and you go into that lane. MCSE is a computer engineer. It gave me everything together. I ended up taking 7 tests before I even started taking the updates, and then I had to take an extra test, right? Because my original MCSE was in 2000. That they had just got rid of what is it called? It was NT. If for you old heads who might remember uh Microsoft NT, and then they went into 2000, right? So when I first went to school, to get the MCSC, 2000 had just come out. Okay. Um, and then when I took an update though, when the last update that I took, it was a lot different. It was actually very easy. Um, yeah, it was so easy because it was almost like they had, I think they called them snap-ins. And what happens was like you go into the server and add something that you want there. Before though, I would have had to go in and really go in and mess around. Um, it's crazy. At least I thought it was, but it wasn't that hard at all. Okay. But I do have a background in computers. Anyway, I'm going, y'all, because my grandson won't. But I may be back. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be back tonight. And to the messy ass, wait, let me see. Did I finish everything I want to? Because I don't want to go through history, but go and look up your own history, okay? Oh, decentralization. See, they talk about this word as if it's a great word because they kept saying it. Like I was like, decentralization. Like the way they were saying it, like, yeah, it's like YouTube, but decentralized. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so what they're saying is that it's not under government, but usually you got to understand what will be out of government control. Because even Twitter, where they allow certain things, is not decentralized, right? They still have rules and regulations. Um, Even if it's just based on Elon Musk himself, right? But in order to be able to to get away from powers of people, you got to sit it on your own shit. And you already have an IP address. Get a server. That's all. Okay. Now let me tell you, don't do what I did when I first went to school. Check out what I did for those. I bought a computer and I said it's gonna be a server, right? But at the same time, I had just bought it, so I turned it into a server, and then I couldn't use it, and I kept saying, "Why can't I?" Like I couldn't sign into it or anything. Like I wanted to use it, plus for it to be a server, but I didn't set it up that way, and so I remember my teacher saying, "Well, what do you think the problem is?" I said, "I don't know. Like, I want to be able to sign in." And he said, "You can sign in." I said, "I know I signed in, but I can't get on the internet or anything." He said, "Yeah, because you made it a server." And that's what it was. Okay. So I had to go back in and change it in there. That's that was all good. But anyway, I enjoyed the conversation. I didn't get to make a beat and talk about what's this dude named Aaron something. Y'all know I was gonna come with a hard beat. Talk about his dumb ass. And TK, like TK gotta be the dumbest motherfucker on this whole internet. And you know that's saying a lot. Woo, baby, listen, the conversations I've had with TK in the last year, I think I met him maybe a year ago or some shit. That nigga is dumb. Okay. Cause he don't understand. He don't listen. He don't grab no information. But then I see that when he was over there by Cute Butter, there was a few other people over there who also they just like the like that little girl was like, she got mad because I called her little girl. I said, now I can assure you she talked about my mama and everything. Now they gonna tell you how mean I got, but I only got mean after she got mean. Now, you know, Mom could get mean and she don't be caring. And then when I let it go, we started talking about something else. Like I had to really force through her to bring up another topic with somebody else because she kept going. And then I guess the when me and Out the Blue was talking and things, man, she said that cried in the motherfucker. And somebody said, "Well, I'm glad y'all not doing this." And I said, "Yeah, that's over." And she wouldn't let that shit go, baby. She in her feelings. And this little nigga right here, he mad because she in her feelings. And y'all know what I got to say. That is like, oh, hey, baby. How you doing? Oh, that might be it. No, that's not it. No, that's from last night. Oh, that might be it. Oh, that's it right here. Nikki, thank you. Thinking these things hard. Who told your daddy buy me that? I don't want that. You want a bag? And nuggets. These things hard. You could get some of these things. Uh man, he looked like he gave me something. He didn't buy me nothing. There you go. So maybe a couple of them. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know what kind of meat that is in the McDonald's. What kind of meat? It don't taste like no chicken, I know. Anyway, let me find a beat real quick. Uh-oh, hubby just left. Good. And then my grandson not in here, so let me see if I can quickly do this. Okay, be careful going there in peer to peer, y'all. Okay, be careful. I'm not telling y'all where to go, where not to go. Just be careful. That's all. Um, YouTube. Um, um, y'all know I like Angel. Listen to, because he got some good stuff. Okay, he got good beats. I haven't been over there in a while, so let's see what he got. We're gonna talk about this regularly. Regularly as I don't even know like anything about him, so it's gonna be kind of hard. But it's okay. It's always good to talk about them popping their boy pussy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what this sound like.
It's almost here.
Oh damn! I got
Everything's on
commercials.
sale
I
at the
forgot.
Sephora Savings Event starting
Yeah, I ain't
October
gonna lie.
31st.
I just don't. I just feel like First of all, I gotta set up my ad blocker, so I'm gonna do that. This computer's not even set up. Like it always telling me I need to set it up. It's always saying, "Hey, you need to set it up." I think I've been using it for about shit. It's almost a year now. Remember, I got he hubby bought me this for Christmas, and then I don't think I opened it till like February, maybe March, and then I never really set it up. I opened it. I went through the hurry up, went through the little quick things, and then I added Zoom and a couple of browsers, and that's it. There's nothing else set up on here. Nothing. I don't even have my thumbprint set up or nothing. And it's the same with my phone. I never set up my facial stuff or none of that. I just anyway. Let's see. I'm gonna put my ad blockers on. Let's see what this sound like first. Well, I don't like this. Maybe let me see. Sit in the shitter, sit in the shitter, sit in the shitter, sit in the shitter. No, I don't like this. It's nothing low. It might be low because it sound kind of. Let me see. No, it says it's at 100. Something ain't right. Wait. Oh, there you go. Okay, I knew something was wrong. No, no, that sound like the other one a little bit, just a little different. I need something better. I'm not saying it's not good, Angel. I just need something different,
The
okay?
Kia Carnival.
Don't come at me now. Your beats are good.
Quality takes time, and we're in no rush.
What am I supposed to say? I'm tired. I just don't like it. Mm, it's not that I don't like it. I just, for what I got in my head, it's not. I need something a little faster. I don't like that. Like that bell kind of thing that I keep hearing. It might be that I'm tired. But okay, it's different. But what? Okay. Oh man, he didn't come in. You want to go by your daddy? Okay, listen, y'all. Let me come see what y'all talking about. Then I gotta go. Got my grandson. Okay, he just got home from school. Oh, he in here. Oh, hey, Aaron, how you doing? Um, yes, Cash App is a peer-to-peer. There we go. So hold up. The ridiculousness. I'm not saying, listen, so do you not understand that you're using the app when you use Cash App? Hmm? Uh-oh, what I'm doing? I'm trying to come back to the chat. You you are you where? Hmm? No? Let me see. Give me a second here. Boom boom. Uh what am I looking for? Hmm. Nah. What am I looking for? I don't want to do that. I did that already. Hmm. Okay. Good one. No, no, no. Here for here we go. So here we go, y'all. Give me a second. I'm not sharing, right? Let me share. Let me share. Ridiculous. but the the idea that like that you think, hold up. Where's Zoom? Here we go. No, that's not Zoom. Here we go. So I explained what peer to peer is, but you seem to have missed that class. Okay. You seem to have missed that class. So here we go. Now I did not know that Cash App was formerly Square Cash. Wait, is Square and Square Cash the same? I'm not sure. Okay. Um, it allows you to send money, receive money, da 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 da. Right? Cash App was launched. Uh-huh. Uh, okay. I already know the answer, and I just saw what I need to see. And the idea that you think is peer here we go. Now, so let's do some explaining real quick. Where is that? Right. I just saw it. Was it in this lower what? Lower income? What? I didn't know that. Look, y'all. It says this is crazy. They say that as of 2024, the service operates as a mobile app based digital wallet, which I know, and its preferred payment app among lower income adults. God damn. That's what I did not know, but okay. I didn't know a lot of people using it like that. Like that. I thought it was just for, the internet thing. But here we go. Let me see what I know I saw it because they mentioned point to point, so we can explain what you're talking about. Uh, Godless. I saw it when I was going real fast. It's not in here. Did I go too fast? Oh, there. That's from person to person, right? Cash App was launched in 2013 as a person to person money transfer, right? Now, they got something called point to point, right? Um, so let's go and explain that real quick. So I know, baby. Well, let's go to, I ain't gonna read. Let's just go to a picture. Let's go to a picture. I apologize because the image might explain it to you. See, there's point to point and there's peer to peer. Now, point to point is very similar to peer to peer, except for the idea, right? Except for how it's set up, right? Remember when I said peer to peer is where everybody could talk to each other. Based on what you're saying, based on what I said earlier, you're saying that when I log on, I talk to them, and them, right? Now we talk about network. See, a point to point, though, on the other hand. Uh-oh. What did I do? Okay, damn. You see that? Now, is this a peer to peer? Yes, this device talks to that device. This is a point to point. That means from my system to another system. See that? You see that? You see that? But see, that says point to point, right? But peer to peer, and look, even this one, look at this one right here. You see that? See, here in this peer to peer, this setup right here, they can talk to each other. But when you sign into your point to point and you deal with and we talk about Cash App, right? Then this is not the same thing as what I was talking about on that site, on this site here. It's Odyssey thing. This is not a point to point. Okay. When I signed into Cash App, I signed into Cash App. I had to authenticate through Cash App, and I'm only gonna have access to what is mine in my folder, right? And the reason it's peer to peer isn't because of the way we use it with our phones and things like that from my home and computer. It's usually from my mobile device where I might be out and about. There's other things you could use with your Cash App. They have a swiping card. I could take payments and things like that. And that's usually more of a point point kind of system. They are similar and yet different. So I know that you thought you got me. I know you thought, "Ooh, I got her. I got her. I got her." But remember, I'm saying the same thing I was talking about earlier. I was talking about this site, and I did also reference LimeWire or FrostWire or whatever, but the few that I've had, my sons had, and I mentioned when I was signed on, my sons were signed on to that program. It would be running in the background because they wouldn't even close it up. You know what I mean? It would just be, was it a I can't even remember if it was like an app. It wasn't an app back then. It was a site. I can't remember, to be honest. My kids usually deal with it. But it would be running in the background. It would be at the bottom down there on the bottom, which let me know that it's running in the background. But I never paid attention to it until one day I saw somebody download from my computer. And it would be down there in this area of your computer. This is where everything's running that you can see that's running in apps and things. See, I have many cams running, Microsoft Defender, my Zoom, and my Microsoft Security, which, as you can see, I never set it up because it hasn't set up. Okay. Um. So yes. Now there are things that you use with your Cash App. Well, I'm not sure about you, but there are other ways I use my Cash App. I literally take payments when I'm selling my merchandise. Okay. Even though I need to get that one I just saw that I need to look into what it's called Zelle or something, start with a Z. I need to look into that one. Um, and I do have a that's what I do have a Square. So I don't know if I haven't used the Square in a while. Is Square let me look that up again. What is Cash App? Is it still open? That's the IP. I gotta close some of these things up, y'all. I'm always keeping them open. We talked about that. We talk about the mutual combat. I don't even know why I got Rumble right there. Trying to, it was Zell. Let me see. I thought I saw some. Let's see. Check this out. Like I don't even know. Like, oh man, I'm not sure. Like, which maybe I'm saying something that you just not understanding. Maybe I'm even saying it incorrect. But there, you can have a peer to peer that has a client or a server, as we put it, right? But this site doesn't. And how do I know it? Because it told me. But not only that, I'm not sure how long you was here when I talked about it, but did you not see that the people got in trouble messing around with crypto? Did you? I'm just wondering, did you tell anybody that? Because that's the first thing I noticed. What's the name of that goddamn site? Did I close it? Yahoo? No, I think that's not it. What's the name of it? I done closed it. Um, um, let me make sure before I go into history and grab it. What is that? I got some work to do, and my grandson. Um, anyway, we'll talk another day because of my grandson. But let me go through the history. I can't. Wasn't it called? Oh Lord, you could tell I'm tired. I have not been to sleep since I woke up yesterday. Let's use this. Oh, here you go. Okay, I thought I had it still up. Just in another window. Odyssey. When I looked up, because before I went there, you got to always see where you're going. And because I never heard of it before, right? Until she mentioned it. uh, See. Oh no, this is not it. No, it's spelled differently. Did it have it didn't have two S's though. Let's see. Man, I'm tired like a mofo, baby. Here go. It said where the people got in trouble. Okay. They blocked them in certain areas. But more importantly than that, you're talking about the now you know what I wanted to look up real quick so we can see because I know she was talking about blockchain, right? Mm. Um, so who explained blockchain to me? Maybe about 2020. It was Cyber. And Cyber was talking about blockchain and he was explaining how money and how different things in this country are going through blockchain. He was even talking about how it's a good thing to get into, but Cyber, based on what he said, had lots of money, right? He did a lot of things. He was a businessman based on what he said. Now I'm just going based on what he said now. Okay. And he was talking about blockchain. Okay. We could talk about this later. And then maybe, well, I don't want to invite him. Somebody who know more about it. See, because this is something I don't know much about, so I can't really talk about it. I only remember uh what Cyber was explaining to me, and I think that was 2020 or 2021. Okay, it was during COVID, and he was explaining it. We was talking about my business. He was talking about blockchain. Because we was in COVID, people's, I made masks and different items like that. And he was like, hey, yeah, in this country, we need to have more of this and more of that. So I can't speak on this uh enough to understand it. But I guess, I mean, it wouldn't take me long to read it and see if I can pick up on it. But that's pretty much what and by the way, Cyber is into cryptocurrency. Okay. He was the one up here explaining the crypto and everything. And the same thing I told him is the same thing I mentioned today. And this is the same thing that I pulled up. Now, Cyber has lots of money to just spend how he wants to spend it. I never told him not to do anything. In fact, I never told anybody. But I do warn people like, hey, this thing is volatile, highly, and one day you could have this amount of money and like it could be gone. Now, that's with the stock market too, but it's not the stock market will have some stability, right? Like you can watch it as it rising and falling. And crypto, you might wake up and that shit just be gone. and it because it has happened before. Okay, it has happened before. So I would love, like, if you know more about the blockchain and you want to come up and explain it to the people and myself, I would definitely welcome that. I had no problem with that. But as far as it wasn't even you. It was your friend. You say your friend, okay? And her ratchet ass. You see, I didn't put a name in the title, so I'm not really talking about her, right? But because she's a woman. Remember, she said, I'm a black woman. I'm a black woman. Why would you jump on a black woman? I'm thinking, girl, what are you talking about? Like, you're using racism. That's that black fatigue. Let me stop, y'all. I have no problem with the young lady, okay? She just was ratchet. And she wanted me to learn from her, and I cannot learn anything from her. Okay, because she don't know shit. Well, now, if she could teach this blockchain, she did mention the blockchain as well. And if she could teach that, then I might sit and listen. Okay. But this is the thing, young ladies and men, and I'm only talking to the ones in my title, okay? The idiots. And not even you. What is your name again? Aaron? Uh, not so much you, but the only stupid motherfucker I really was calling stupid is TK. TK is a dumb motherfucker. Okay. And I did that argument went all the way to you ain't gonna find nobody to name somebody. And then when I name them, and then the niggas start talking about some other bullshit. Okay. And then he started confusing what I was saying with what he was saying. Lord have mercy. It amazes me. It amazes me how he asked me to name a time when in America, on America, like you think I'm not gonna play with him when the nigga said, when on American soil has American killed people, his own people. He literally asked me that. And like I thought of so many other times where that has happened, but then he was like, yeah, he went back to the topic. So I went all the way to somebody who I knew he would know. At least I hoped that he would know. But I didn't even have to go all the way back that far, did I? Where I could mention where on this soil Americans have killed people, humans, like their own people. So it was kind of a ridiculous question. And yes, when I was talking about the Kill Bill playing around with him, um, like I thought y'all would have got that reference when I mentioned we could go out there with swords. I don't have a sword, by the way. So I'm quite sure most of us don't have swords, but some people do. So maybe that's why y'all didn't catch on, because maybe y'all motherfuckers has got swords and shit. I don't have no swords. So maybe my joke was a little either above your head or too low for you, grasp onto. I have no idea. I really don't care. I'm tired, so I'm over talking right now. That's what I do. I ramble when I'm tired. Because I'm tired, but I'm not tired. Like I'm tired, but I don't want to go to sleep. Because if I go to sleep now, I'm not gonna wake up until maybe about midnight. Yeah, it'll be about midnight when I wake up. And I'm trying to see if I'm gonna decide to stay awake. And my grandson, he's over there listening to his mama. Did I say a cuss word? Because he looking at me. My mom sorry, man. Anyway, I'm tired. Y'all I gotta go. Anyway, come over one day or put my name in one of your titles. If you got a if he got a channel, y'all could put his link in for those who got a what you call 'em? I'm too tired for this shit right here. But I do owe you a song, my brother. Okay. Uh I'm just too tired to get it out right now. I can't even think of words. And so I think I am gonna start doing tech well we used to do Tech Tuesdays, but it don't matter what day. I'll talk to a few people, and we'll get back to doing the technologies talk, and also we're gonna do the help. Y'all know what I call Freaky Fridays, but it's probably not gonna be on Friday this week. Okay, we're gonna get back to that, and but I do have a couple of items I need to make. I was over there trying to work and yell at some people, but this guy right here kind of yo, he kicked me off the piano and hurt my little wee wee heart. I was like, oh, my heart is broken. And it was like, you're mad. Look at her. She's mad. I was like, yeah, I'm so mad. I tried to get him, he did kick me off, which he supported, and then I supported back. And then he supported again. I feel good about that. Like, thank you very much. because I personally don't support with no $150. I'm gonna let you know right off the bat. You know what I mean? But I think together, you and I, we made a great team, baby. Shit, we made a good team, and I do support Q Butter and what he's doing over there. Okay, because he's doing great things with those kids. And I gotta go. Bye, y'all. Let me give it because Zoom is like 5 seconds behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll see y'all later. I may go live tonight, but I do have some work to do. And I've been actually on Facebook. I need to learn how to set up what is it called? The TikTok thing. But somebody told me I need to come over there. But somebody also said that I could go live. But then somebody said you could only do 10-minute videos. And I'm like, I can't go live and get nothing out in 10 minutes. Y'all know I talk a lot, baby. I can't do nothing in no 10 minutes.